Hello everyone and welcome to Megaquarium, a new game for the channel. Now this game is currently in pre-release but only by a day, so if you like what you see here, don't worry, you're going to be able to pick this up on Steam in about a day's time from the release of this video. I've been afforded the opportunity to play this thanks to TwiceCircled, a developer some of you may be familiar with from Big Pharma. This game is sort of in the same vein, that is, it is kind of a Tycoon game. Less Factorio-esque than Big Pharma was, and much more theme park-esque in terms of the gameplay. Now, Megaquarium, as you might already guess from this, we basically run an aquarium. And as with most games, I think it's going to be easier to show you than to explain it. So let's go ahead and jump right in. We'll be starting a new game. I have familiarized myself with some of the controls, and I've gotten up to the 3rd level. These come fairly thick and fast early on. We'll be playing on normal difficulty for the time being. But let's start at the beginning, shall we? At Sunnyside. Welcome to Sunnyside. You've been tasked with building a small aquarium from scratch here at Sunnyside. Before the investors release any funding, they want to make sure that you can handle the basic controls. Complete the objectives in the top right of the screen to prove you know what you're doing. For more information on any objective, simply hover over the info button on the right of it. So there. Good luck. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. Right, so hover over this button. We're done. Pan the camera. So was it there? Orbit the camera. Let's see. Hold the middle mouse button. There we go. Orbiting. We want to zoom in. That'll be the middle mouse button again. And finally, return home, which I'm going to assume is the home button. In fact, it says it right there. There you go. Right, great stuff. You've just oh, this is a very jaunty tune. I like it. Great stuff. You've just unlocked your first round of funding for your aquarium. Use the money to get the basic requirements of your aquarium set up. These are covered in the new set of objectives you've just been given. By the way, if you need to review this or any other message, you can use the button in the bottom left of the screen. I must say that the UI feels very comfortable. That sounds odd because it doesn't actually have any kind of feeling to it, but it does seem comfortable in a way. Oh, I like it. I like the way the walls rise or fall depending on the direction of the camera. I like that a lot, actually. Now, this game, obviously, is about setting up a wee aquarium, and for anyone who happens to like fish themselves, and I imagine this is going to be a very, very fun game. Now, as I have got some experience with the game already, I'm going to be setting things up in what might not appear, at first glance, to be the most optimal way, but do not worry. We've got loads of things we can do and to unlock many more as time goes on. These are for like guests, so toilets, benches, drinks, so on and so forth. We've got stuff for our staff, decorations of the tank, the fish to go inside the tank, things like filters and heaters, so on and so forth. It's been a little while since I had an aquarium. The last aquarium I had was back in Wales before I moved to Scotland, which was several years ago. I do miss it a little bit, actually. I miss the sort of the rhythmic thrum of the pump for some reason. Right, so we want to attach a basic filter to each tank. Let's get that done. So we'll go ahead and we'll pop these there and there. Now we want some basic heaters. Let's get those down. Now these heaters provide 18 heat, but a tank of this size only requires 8 heat. Well, that's fine. We can't get smaller than this. Add some Azure demoiselles to each tank. Now I'm going to mess up the fish names. By all means, correct me down below. Props to you. You get 15 additional Dapper points for correcting me if you include a link to somewhere where the word is pronounced. Alright, I'm just going to put that out there. You could just retype the word. That's not going to get me any closer to being able to pronounce it than I get by just reading the word the first time. But if you can link me to a pronunciation guide, well done you. Right, so let's get a couple of these. Now, let's have a little look at them. This fish has a quirky habit of eating fish feces. Ah, yum. This unusual behavior is a way of supplementing their nutrition in the wild. It will eat orange pellets. It needs a water quality of 50%. This is tropical. The tank's heat must be greater than or equal to its water volume. It will provide a prestige point whenever a guest views it. The number of ecology points that we'll earn whenever a guest views it. Now, those will be covered shortly. And the size of the fish. This is the amount of space the animal takes up in the tank, and also the amount it contributes to lowering the water quality in the tank. It'll cost me $14 to place one down. So let's pop 1, 2. There we go. We'll just, you know what? I'm going to give you friends. I don't want to leave you there by yourselves. Add some decorations to your tanks. Very well. You can have some sea lettuce. This will give +1 to plants. The small rocks, though, will add filtering power, helps maintain basic water quality, and a quality of rocks. Sea lettuce, often found in nutrient-rich or even polluted areas in the wild, suitable for temperate and tropical conditions. Rocks provide a surface for microscopic bacteria and zooplankton to live on. This live surface lends a small amount of filtering to the tank. That's quite useful. You can click on the tank to bring up its details. Now, these tanks are basically equal to one another. So currently we've got 16 filtering thanks to the little filter here. I'll have a quick look at that and see if there's a little bit more information on filtering. Let's pop you in there. Boom, up to 17. So that's increased it by 1 point. Not too bad, all things considered. We'll pop some sea lettuce in the other one. We don't really need to worry too much about the water quality. It's vastly over what we need in there. But let's just have a quick look at this. So basic filter. The filter will maintain acceptable water quality. Okay, well, that's fine. It just gives us 16 power. So I guess these are dropping the water quality by 2 each, I would have said. Curious. I imagine the water quality started at 100. We'll have a look into that in the next tanks that we build. Build an orange pellet dispenser. Very well. Let's get down some foodings. Now you can use the mouse wheel to rotate them, which is quite useful. There we are. Build a tool station, just so that we can fix any errant gear. There we go. It's coming along. And then hire an aquarist. What a fantastic term. Aquarist. I like it. Right, so we've got Anna. Anna cut her teeth on hobby tanks at home, so likes to keep things small scale. Your staff have various stats, and these will affect their skills. For example, we can see here that Anna is gaining, well, nothing from empathy, but +2 from precision. Not losing anything from empathy, I guess. Whereas, if we look up here, Harry used to work in an aquarium shop, so is familiar with the basics of keeping an aquarium running. Now, Harry has some better fixing. From precision and from memory. Yeah, you're not losing anything, at least. -1 from empathy, though. Low empathy on the feeding. No minuses from precision. I guess there's like a base level that you need. But whilst we're starting off, we'll get Anna, I think. There we go, Anna. And then open our aquarium. Come on. We've already got a guest. How marvellous. Well done. The basic aquarium is set up and running, and your first guest has arrived. Whenever a guest enters your aquarium, they'll pay you some dollars to enter. I wonder if we can set that. In addition, as they experience your displays, they'll reward you with ecology points, which you can use to unlock animals for your aquarium. Marvellous. There we are. Right, pick your next ecology project. We've already got these unlocked, that's quite cool. Right, the orchid Dottyback. The gentlest of the Dottyback family, appearing to have missed the mean streak that characterizes so many of this group. Okay, it'll give us 3 ecology points. I guess we need 3 ecology points to unlock it. It's size 2, needs slightly higher water conditions. Great job, you've started researching a new animal, the orchid Dottyback. As you earn more ecology points, you will make progress towards unlocking it. You can see your progress in the bottom of the screen. Oh, that's fair enough. Let's have a look at you. Jill, I really like that the small rocks. Oh, glad. What about the fish, though? I really like that there's your demoiselle. Very well. You can just wander around. We need 1 more point, please. Or is that all you're going to give me? How about you? There we go. New animals unlocked. Fantastic. Okay. You've just unlocked the orchid Dottyback. Now it's time to buy some for your aquarium. Follow the remaining objectives to expand your livestock range. Very well. We're just going to pause things here. We're getting a little bit. I really like the small rocks. Wow. See, this kind of comes along the whole thing. If the first thing someone says to you is, "Oh, I really like those shoes," you can take it as a compliment about your shoes being especially eye-catching and dapper. That puts you in the optimist kind of category. Or you can consider all of the things that they didn't comment on and wonder why they chose the shoes, of all things, to be the only thing they complimented. And that would put you very squarely in the pessimistic category, because it's like, thanks, I'm glad you like my shoes. What's wrong with my face? Yeah, I don't know. But I'm a little bit offended that everyone's coming in looking at my tank with these beautiful fish, and they're like, oh yeah, those are really good rocks. Did you know you can move animals and decorations between tanks? First select the tank containing the object you wish to move, then select the move tool by pressing M using the button in the top left. That's pretty good because that is going to allow me to specialize my tanks. Now you picked up an object and you can place it somewhere else as normal. Okay, now we need to, we've paused the game already, that's with space there. So the first thing I would like to do is I would very much like to press M and move my fish across to this tank. There we go. So we've now got one tank fully utilized. That's marvelous. Okay, so we'll get a number of ecology points earned whenever a guest views this tank. That's actually quite a lot of ecology points, to be fair. Now then, let's add a couple of you, much the same way, to this tank. And once again, we're going to add all the way up to 4. There we go. Now that is a better tank in terms of the ecology points. And we can have a look at a couple of things over here. For example, we can have a look there and see that there are 8 fish in them. We can have a look at this and see what we will gain from this tank. It's not just ecology points that you will gain from tanks. Sometimes you'll get prestige. Sometimes you'll get science. We can have a look at this one to see the number of our guests in the aquarium that have seen the tank. So there's only 2 people. There we go. Each tank has been seen up to 100%. Marvelous. We're slowly accruing more points. Right, expand your floor space and build a large tank. Practice moving a tank. Add a basic heater and filter to your new tank. Add some orchid Dottybanks to your new tank. Well, I mean, I've already done those ones though. Okay. Right, so let's expand out. And to do that, we just pop over here. Let's make a nice big bit of space over there. That costs us a little bit of cash, but we've got plenty. Now, we want to make a large tank here. So let's go ahead and do that. Now I could make it a 3x3, but I think a 3x2 more than enough. So there we are. Now let's have a quick look at the way that this particular tank works. So right now, water quality is 100%. Requires water quality of 0 because there are no fish in it. Doesn't matter. Now we need 6 orchid Dottybacks in this tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There we are. I should have just moved them over there, shouldn't I? What a derp I am. Oh well. Alright, so right now the water quality is 0 of 55. But that's fine. We are going to pop down a basic heater. So that's nice and warm. And then finally a basic pump. That takes us up to 56%. Just enough. You may have noticed a set of icons attached to each animal you research and acquire. These are known as the animal's care requirements. Failure to meet these will reduce the health of your animal and could lead to death. It'll basically stress the animal, and no one likes seeing stressed fish. No one likes seeing dead fish. Your investors have arranged for you to access a new fish called the half and half chromis. Let's take a look at its requirements. Okay. This fish needs to be kept in groups of 4 or more. In smaller groups, the fish will fight amongst themselves until only one dominant fish survives. Okay, so for 3 or less, they'll just kill each other. That's not so great. Its size is 3, though, so you're going to need a tank with at least 12 room to fit those in. Number of culture points, quite a lot of those. Needs 50%, that's fine. Right, the half and half chromis has a requirement you haven't encountered before. It is the shoaler. This means it likes to be with a minimum number of its own kind. Demonstrate that your understanding of care requirements by satisfying this requirement of the half and half chromis in a new tank. Very well. So at least half of your one half and half chromis satisfy the shoaler requirement, satisfy the water requirement, sufficient heating. That should be easy enough to do. I am quite sad about that one. But before we do that, let's give you guys some more decoration. That's quite a large tank, so I'm going to give you a little bit more. Now this will increase the prestige of the tank as well, to a certain degree. So, for example, if we have a look down here, we can bring this up. This is the overview. What will unlock at the next rank, that'll be given to us in the tutorial shortly. Alright, guest thoughts. I've already seen an orchid Dottyback. 2 of my guests have said that. I really like the small rocks, the sea lettuce, the azure damosel, and the orchid Dottybacks. Marvellous. I approve. Now, the thing with prestige is that decreases over time, from what I can tell. I'm not exactly sure by what mechanism it goes down, but it does definitely go down. Now, what I would like to do here is we need a bigger tank for our half and half chromis. Alright, so this one is currently a tank size 12. I mean, I could be rid of the Dottybacks. It's a bit of a shame, really, but we've got 2 tanks of them right now. It's not exactly the most interesting. Still, let's expand the area a little bit more, shall we? Let's push this whole area back. And in fact, there's some things that we can do. We can build walls. Have we got the ability to build doors yet? No, we don't. So we're not going to pop those down just yet. But, for example, if we wanted to, we could pick up this tank. Just yoink. Rotate it around. Now, everything connected to the tank will be moved with the tank when you do this, which is fine. We'll just pop that there. And I would like to move my tools and my food over to the side. There we go. Now we're going to get another large tank, same size as the previous one, because that's all we really need right now. And then we will plonk down another filter and heater, or rather heater and filter. And then we'll go ahead and fill the half chromis. So again, we need 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And they should be happy with that. Now that you've got a different species of fish in your aquarium, you should be able to rank up soon. Ranking up will instantly unlock new equipment, decorations, and facilities, and increase the repertoire of animals which are available to research. There's more. The higher your rank, the more guests you attract, and the more they are willing to pay to enter your aquarium. Oh, so the money is increased automatically, I guess. Ranking up occurs as a result of generating prestige points. These are earned whenever a guest enjoys something in your aquarium. There are many ways to earn prestige, but you'll earn the majority with your animals, tanks, and decorations. Your next objective is to rank up, after which you'll be able to unlock animals that require your remaining objectives. We've already got enough prestige for that. You should be able to rank up with your existing tanks, but if you have trouble, build more tanks. It's fine. There we go. And rank up. Let's see what we get. There we go. The next one is up to 100 prestige. Now then, we have unlocked the staffed door, the Combi Mini. The Combi Mini provides combined heating and filtering, saving you space and maintenance, but it's only suitable in the smallest of tanks. And we've got the Driftwood Cave. We've also got the King Damosel. Despite his bold colouring, this fish is shy and can often be picked on by more confident tank mates. Oh, that's a shame. This carelessly strewn driftwood forms the perfect shelter for small cave-loving fish. Marvellous. Right, let's go. Now that you're rank 2, you've access to more animals. You're going to unlock them one at a time and ensure each of their care requirements are met. So let's start on you. Right, you're only size 2. That's quite nice, but you are 2 prestige. It's going to cost us 50 ecology points to get you, though. You are a win. Womp womp. Okay, well, let's start then. Right, now, you may have noticed we did unlock a few other things. The staff door, for example. That is super, super cool. But also, the Driftwood Cave. Let's pop you in here. It'll look lovely, I think. Right, we've also got the Combi Mini. Now, this does exactly what these do. It's slightly, very slightly less reliable and also costs more than each one of these. So unless you need the space, don't worry about setting that up. But now, I'm going to pause this right here because I want to start moving people around. Much like theme park, there is an advantage to directing your visitors in a very specific way. What we're going to do is we're going to start off by having a staff door right here and here. We are then going to draw out walls across here. We don't need to, they can't walk through these, but I'd just like to restrict them. Ah, see, there is a problem there though, in that we can now no longer access the ones right at the side. So let's move this across so that we've got easy enough access. In fact, you know what? Almost everything that you build can be moved. Walls are an exception. Once a wall is built, the only way to get rid of it is to straight up delete the wall. But that's fine. That's fine. We'll adjust for that slight mistake there. Pop you across. Get you back in the middle there. There we are. We'll just delete these walls here and here, and draw these walls out. There we go. And we can have centralized doors. Haha! Perfect. And now everyone will wander to the correct places. Sure. We'll probably end up having a 3-wide corridor there as well, just so that I can fit things in. Or I might even not have to worry about that, since this tank already has its conditions met on the side. Is there anywhere I could place this that's slightly better for me? Yes, if we put it over here, we don't specifically need access over there. Likewise, this can be moved as well. There we go. Lovely. Now, all of my my visitors can just wander down here, and they're more or less going to be guaranteed that everyone is going to see all of the tanks. Because if they can move around, they tend to just when they come to a junction, just randomly decide which direction to take. They don't necessarily go to the tanks that they haven't been to before. That isn't going to be as much of a problem for us right now at this small of an aquarium, but later on that becomes a bit of a pain. So by limiting them to like a corridor, they'll just naturally continue down, visiting each tank more or less on the way. Later on you get means to actually direct them, like one-way signs and that sort of thing as well. Right, we're probably going to want a new tank as well. We'll see how that goes. Right, other things we can have a look at. I can make the walls lower down. That's actually quite nice. Or I can just leave them nice and high. It's not really something that we need to worry about. We can toggle warnings. I actually want those on though. Our staff have no particular needs right now, so that's fine. There we go. Fantastic. Okay. Now, it's a timid beauty. In other words, a wimp. I like that. Timid beauty. Right. Let's expand things out a little bit then. So we're going to pause here. It's only a small fish, so we can probably do with just a wee tank for this one. We don't need to go gigantic here at all. We can happily do this, I think. And once again, we're not hurting for space. So we'll just go ahead and we'll get each one. Now, the only thing that we might come a cropper by doing this is we're adding many more machines. And so when these start to break down, we're going to have a lot of work to do all of a sudden. And that's not going to be as fun. But still. Right, we want at least one of you. So let's get you down there. You are very expensive indeed. You're very prestigious. So that's actually pretty cool. We're going to go ahead and we're going to fill this tank with them though. So let's keep going. Oh, there we are. Unlock the Arabian blue line Dottyback. Acquire at least one Arabian blue line Dottyback. Meet all the requirements of it. That's fine. Well, I just want to finish filling up this tank though before we do that. There we are. And I would like to pop in, sure, some sea lettuce for you. There we go. Marvellous. Okay, I would like to... So that's all of our rank 1 fish. All of these are our rank 2s. Arabian blue line Dottyback. This fish... Oh, wait, they're going to be mean because the current Dottyback is unusual for all Dottybacks in that it is not mean. So I'm assuming all further Dottybacks will be. This fish is exceedingly aggressive to more docile tank mates and has been known to disembowel them. Wow. Okay, quite prestigious, much like the King Demoiselle. Very high number of ecology points. It's a huge fish though, size 4. We're going to need a large tank for you. Same sort of quality requirements. It is a bully, as we can expect. That's fine though. So, how are we going to set you up? Maybe we're going to want a larger tank over here as a result. We could do that because it is going to be quite a large fish. Now, right now, we are isolating our fish in a small number of tanks. That being said, we could get... we could perhaps sell a bunch of the Dottybacks we have here. Let's have a look. Are many people complaining that they've seen them? Yeah, 4 guests are complaining that they've seen them. So what we might do is just replace them in this tank. And just use that one instead. Right now we're not having any troubles at all managing the amount of feeding that's going on, which is actually quite nice. So we're not going to have to worry about that. There we are. And you're actually pretty good at the job. So yeah, we'll just let time move on a little bit faster. And we should quickly get to the Arabian blue line to Dottyback. I'm actually quite enjoying reading up about all of the fish. I did have a small tropical tank, but there's quite a lot of fish here that I've not come across. And as we move into the later levels, there's going to be lots of fish that I've never heard of. So I hope you're enjoying me reading through the information as much as I'm enjoying reading the information. Right, okay, well, let's slow this down. You've unlocked the Arabian blue line Dottyback. Let's take a look. The Arabian blue line Dottyback is a pugnacious little fellow. They are bullies which will terrify any animals with the wimp tag, such as the King Demoiselle you unlocked earlier. Very well. Now, unfortunately, it's time for you to not be there. I mean, we could perhaps have one in there. Maybe even 2. You know what? It's probably not a bad thing to do, but I would like to have dedicated tanks for now. So I'm going to sell these fish for the time being. And then we're going to pop in just 3 Arabian blue line Dottybacks in there. We've got to get the yellow Tang next as well. So get you in there, please. And thank you. There we are. 24 ecology points. Right there. Okay, that should be okay. The water quality is still good enough for us. Well, the yellow Tang. Now, the yellow Tang needs a different type of feed. Tangs are crucial in the wild environments to keep in check the algae and plants that would otherwise overwhelm the reefs. Tangs can even be seen grazing on algae growing on the back of turtles. Very well. Very high ecology points, but look at that, 6. This is going to need a very large tank. Much higher water quality requirements as well. And is probably one of the first ones that needs something specific in terms of plants. So that's pretty cool, I must say. Pretty cool. Okay, well, at the moment, we should see that will build that up fairly quickly. But we're going to want to go ahead and prepare for this fish. Now, the way we're going to do that, let's go ahead and expand this little area out. I'm thinking we want a nice big area over here. So let's expand this out about... might want to have a little bit more room on such a large tank, I'm thinking. It's gonna be a bit of a tricky one. We'll see. I don't really want to just squeeze it in, I guess. So what we could do is we're gonna drive this back a little bit further. Now this does mean that we're expanding out quite a large tile. Is it? Yeah, it's calculating the correct amount of tiles. That should, if it was calculating, as you can see there, it's only one tile it's trying to expand, only 2 tiles, despite the fact that I've got such a large area selected. That'll do. For the time being, though, we're just going to delete this. I'm going to get a gigantic tank ready. There we are. Oh, I didn't mean to delete that, actually, thinking about it. I meant to leave that one there. Oh well. Leave that back. Donk. There we go. So this is going to be ready. We are going to need some plants in there, we already know. Alright, so this is going to be a very prestigious fish. We've got to acquire one. The yellow Tang has a higher water quality requirement than your other animals. Therefore, you may need to have more filters or less fish in the tank. Notice that they also eat a different type of food to your other animals. Make sure you build a green pellet dispenser so that your staff can feed it. Finally, the yellow Tang likes plants. House him in a tank with at least 1 plant per tank. Okay, well that shouldn't be too difficult for us to match. Now, I'm going to use the Combi Mini here because this is such a... It's going to be such a big requirement, and then we can have a regular filter there. So let's slow down time for a little bit while we just get all of this set up. Now, we know that we're going to want plants, so let's go ahead and pop down... I believe this was a size 6 fish. This is a size 18 tank, so we're going to need at least 3 plants in here. There we go. Now, let's go ahead and pop you down. And there we are. All requirements met, apparently. Right, we've got to unlock the Blackbar Soldierfish. Red colouring and big eyes usually mean the fish is nocturnal. Red can't be detected at night by most fish, and larger eyes will collect tiny fragments of light. Another fairly large fish, size 4. This one likes caves, though. It doesn't like light. Cannot be housed in a tank with lights. That's not going to be something that we need to worry about for a little while. Now, let's have a look here. Currently, you're actually fine. Wow. I was expecting that we were going to need a bit more in this, but no, that works out okay. Alright, perfect. Well, given that then, let's just pop down the green pallet bin right there. Since this is the only one of our fish tanks that needs green pallets, that should be fine. There we are, you're heading over there. Let's add a little bit more in here though, because that's such a big tank to be so lonely. So we're going to pop in a little rock there as well. I think that's going to make it look a lot nicer. There we are. Now we're going to have a fish that needs a tank size of 4. Where do we want to pop that down? Now, I'm not sure how many more fish we're going to be unlocking. Let's assume that we're not going to be unlocking too many more though. So let's just make a little area down here, shall we? I think so, yes. So we're going to reduce these walls. And I'm actually going to put in a second door. Get a little staff door right there so that we can enter on this side as well. We could put a staff door there if I particularly wanted to. I don't think we need to though. And we want a basic tank right at the end. If we need to, we'll move that in a little bit. Now, we'll wait until we've got I forget the name of it actually, the Blackbar Soldierfish in place. It's going to need some caves. 1 cave per fish, and we can fit 3 in there. And this gives us 3 caves. So quite a good fit actually. I approve. One of your equipment has broken down. This will cause it to slowly lose effectiveness over time. A staff member with the fixing role will automatically retrieve a toolkit and remedy the problem. If many pieces of equipment fail at the same time, you may want to consider hiring more staff and building additional tool stations, or raising the priority of fixing role for your staff members. You can prioritize what job your staff members work on first, which is quite cool. I'll quickly show that in a moment. So there we are. We need to get one of these in place. We've unlocked the Blackbar Soldierfish. The Blackbar Soldierfish are nocturnal, so they like to have a cave to hang out in. When you've reached rank 2, you unlock the Driftwood Cave decoration, which provides a cave. So make sure you add one to your Blackbar Soldierfish tank. Also, note that they dislike light. You don't have to worry about this right now, but later you'll need to light your tanks with certain plants and corals, so you'll need to steer clear of Blackbar Soldierfish in those tanks. Very well, but to quickly show the management, we can go over here, click on Anna, and then we can increase the priorities of certain things. I'm going to say you can carry on feeding as a high priority. Don't do them both at the same time. I'd like to make sure that the fish are fed first and foremost. I'm not sure if these increase over time, if they actually level up. I think it might do. Yeah, they gain experience and get better over time. That's actually pretty cool. That's very cool, in fact. Right, okay, so once you've finished that, you can go and grab the toolbox and fix that pump there. Sorry, that filter. So, Blackbar Soldierfish. Let's have a look at you then. Let's get you in here. 1, 2, 3. Now, we need to stop that right away because it is not warm enough, nor is there a filter there at all. So, let's go ahead and add those in. So, first and foremost, we'll get you a heater, and then we'll get a filter. Again, I'm going for these ones because they are more reliable than the alternative, and they also sit, they're also a bit less expensive. We don't need to worry about money right now, though. As you can see, we've got loads. One of your guests has grown tired. Build some benches so that they have somewhere to sit and rest. You'll find them in the facilities section. Very well. So benches it is, and look at that. Super, super useful. Or, alternatively, we could have some just down the middle. Sure, we'll have them just down the middle. There we go. That'll do. Enjoy! What was that? Oh, I've got to build 3. Very well. And get 3 benches in place then. Pop down there. And then another over here. Oh, I can't, because it's in the way of the door. Drat. Let me just move these around a little bit. The aquarium is looking great. Your final challenge is to reach a target amount of prestige and maintain it for a period of time. Very well. We shouldn't have too much trouble doing that, honestly. Just shimmy that over there. Now, let's see if we can actually hit that level of prestige with the fish that we've got. We might not be able to, and if not, then I'll expand out and build some more tanks. If we hit 100% and we're not getting that amount of prestige, then there is the problem. Got a lot of feeding work for you to do every day. We'll see though. We've got 64, and as you can see, it is going down a little bit as people are leaving. But then as new people are coming in and then checking out all of the tanks, it is popping back up. There we go. We've also got to get that fixed because that is going to be stressing out those poor fish a little bit there. There we go. Oh, we were there for briefly. Yeah. Okay, we're going back down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow things down again. And we're just going to expand a little bit more. So, first and foremost, then, let's pause time. I want to move this tank down here. So we're going to need about this much room. Means we're going to need that much room on this side. In fact, let's drive that a little bit further along. This way. Let's grab the tank and rotate it. Yeah, that should do, I think. Pop that there. And we'll move this staff door instead down to this side. That way we can continue
the effect of the double walls there. That works out reasonably well for me, I think. Now on this side, we want a decent chunk of prestige. So how about we get a mixed tank? Now, the way that it, from what I understand, is that a mixed tank will generate a bit more prestige, in that it's just a bit more of an entertaining environment to see lots of different fish in the tank than just one singular species. So let's go ahead and do that. I believe the people basically get they get tired of seeing the same tank layout over and over and over, basically. We're going to move this one, though. I'd like to move that one just down there. That should work. And we'll seal this side off as well. We'll get in another filter. We'll go for a combi mini this time, again, because I've got a feeling that we might need the extra filtering power. Now then, with that tank selected, let's go ahead and add some fish. As you can see, our prestige is already pretty high. Let's see. Now, we can't have the King Demoiselle in with the Arabian blue-lined Dottyback, so it really comes down to what we want. That is a larger fish, so I'm going to fit less of them in. So, how about... Right, we're going to have the King Demoiselle. Oh, we can have the Azure Demoiselles there as well, maybe a couple, just because they're the same sort of fish. And maybe Blackbar Soldierfish. That way they're all the same. They eat the same type of food. So we'll have one there. Get 2 of you. This is up to 18. Get 1, 2. And we'll have another Blackbar Soldierfish. And I think another Azure Demoiselle as well. That'll look quite lovely. Right, we need 2 caves in there. So let's go ahead and add that in. We'll have this back. That's fine. I would very much like to add a couple of small rocks, maybe even 2. It's not going to be enough to bring up the water quality, unfortunately. But we'll also have some greenery in there, because this is going to be a very, very decorated tank there. And then a basic filter right there should help us out with that. And there we go. That will hopefully be enough to get us all of the prestige that we need. Now if we just watch our guests as they wander around. As you can see, that is going up very nicely now. People are quite enjoying looking at that tank. I'm a little bit concerned about the amount of feeding that there is now, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hire... I know that Harry isn't particularly as good at feeding, but... well, actually, maybe we could get Wade. Wade is a bright marine biologist graduate who can learn to work equally well with machines and animals. Not particularly fit, though, Wade. I think I'm going to take Harry just so that because he can move around a little bit faster. Go ahead then, Harry. You can help out with everything in here, but I'm going to manage Harry and tell Harry, since you're better at fixing, you can prioritize that. There we go. That makes sure that everything gets sorted reasonably fast. If I want to, I could put a door there, but I think I'm going to instead put an extra bench here, and then we're going to leave that as it is. Right, that's almost up to 100% now, but we've dropped below the 80 that we require, but we should be back up there in a moment. There we go. Oh, back up, back down, back up, back down. A couple of people want to park themselves, that's fine. We may need to add a couple more tanks in there. We're just peaking over the 80 there, here and there. Like, bigger tanks, more varied sets of fish would all help. Let's have a look at what our guests are thinking. I've already seen the Damsel, the King Damsel. Already seen the Blackbar Soldierfish. I've already seen small rocks. Well, you know, you're going to see small rocks a lot, all right? This is an aquarium. My lord. But we're kind of skirting that right now. How about we set up another big tank? This will probably be one of the last tanks that we set up here, because the final challenge, we're going to win it very soon. In fact, we're going to pause it just to make sure that I've got enough time to do this. So I would like to leave on a high. So let's get a nice big tank down here. Sure, we could actually have the entire tank set up like this, I imagine. We'll just draw this out just a little bit, just to make a bit more room. Now, one thing I haven't really covered is how the feeding crops work. They start with a capacity of 200 pellets. This one is generally going to have a lot of them. Every day at the beginning of the day it gets completely restored. So if you've got a lot of tanks that use the same type of food, you're eventually going to need extra bins. Otherwise, you're just not going to have enough food for all of the fish. And let's go for one gigantic tank right down at the bottom here. Once again, we're going to go for a combi mini, where we will probably need an additional filter. Now, what kinds of fish do we want in here? Let's start out with the yellow tang. Well, it's an 18 tank, so we could get 2 of them, perhaps. Maybe. Let's see, that would generally be better for me to have the yellow tang over there, but we'll live with it, I think. We'll have one there. We could get 2, but I think we're going to avoid that. I'll have an Arabian blue-lined Dottyback in here as well. Maybe, in fact, 2 of these, perhaps. No, let's not go overboard with that. We'll have 2 orchid Dottybacks, and let's see how much filtering power we can get with the second filter. Ooh, very close. I'm not quite there yet. If I add you in, it will probably be okay. Yeah, there we go. There we go. This means we just need 1 lettuce there. I am going to add in another small rock. And just because it's such a large tank, I think having an extra bit of driftwood in there will just make it a nice one. Now, this one is a tank that requires 2 types of feed. So at this point, I'm actually starting to second guess my decision not to include a door here. In fact, yeah, I think we're going to do that. Just so that I've got an easy way to get to the feed that we're going to need. There we are. Of course, I could just move that feed down here as well. That would be another thing we could do. But we'll just see how this goes. There we go. It's a lovely little tank there, I think. Absolutely gorgeous tank. Ah, look at that. So busy. Everyone enjoying looking at all the fish. Hopefully the fish are also being enjoying being looked at. They can get quite stressed. Poor little fish. Please don't tap on the glass. That's all I ask. I know. It looks like they're reacting to you. What they're reacting to is a sudden reverberation through their world. It'd be the same as if jet planes just kept flying past your head and the sonic boom was constantly just rocking you back and forth. It wouldn't be fun. It really would not be fun. Please don't do it to fish. There we go. But we're going to speed up time. We've only got 54 seconds of a prestige 80 that we need to maintain. We should be able to get back up there in just a moment. It ticks down a little bit here and there. This last little bit can be a little bit tricky. We've got quite a lot of tanks, though, for it to be so hard. So I'm a little bit surprised that we're finding it difficult. There we go. Sudden swell of prestige. But it does mean that you can't just gradually make it through the levels by having just a few tanks that are doing okay. You can certainly make money that way, but you're not going to complete it in terms of prestige and ranking up, because you need to constantly be providing more. Eventually people just get tired of the same thing. You've built Sunnyside up to be a great little aquarium, and people have started to take notice. You've received a job offer to run a large aquarium over in North Woods. You can continue to build here at Sunnyside for as long as you want. This message will stay in your message log, accessible via the button in the bottom left until you're ready. When you're ready to move on, though, let me know. Now we're going to move on straight away. As far as I'm aware, this is not like 2 Point Hospital in that you can't just move from one aquarium back to an old one and add new stuff in there. Each one is effectively a self-contained level. So be aware that if you do want to do more on the level, by all means, continue to play on that level for a little bit. You absolutely can, and then you just click down here in order to bring up the message, and then click this when you're ready. But I think that's going to be a wonderful first episode there. So we're going to be moving on to North Woods. Again, we're going to be going through the whole thing on normal. By the time we get to Elmshorn, it gets a lot more complicated. That's as far as I've gone through in my test run.
And yeah, the game really does start opening up. We're going to start opening up quite a lot in Northwoods, though, to be fair. Sunnyside is literally the most basic of the levels. We didn't need to do half of the stuff we were doing with the walls and such, but that's going to start becoming an increasing requirement in further aquariums. But as I said, I really do hope you've enjoyed. If you are interested in picking up the game, remember that right now it is in early, this is pre-release. So as of the day of this posting, you're not going to be able to buy it, but you'll be able to buy it in about a day's time from there. So do check the video description down below and I'll have a link to where you can purchase it. But that's all from me. So until next time, and as always, do take care, everyone.